So on the court for First Coffee, my name is David George Smith. Everyone's having a wonderful Monday. Everyone enjoying their weekend. I know it was a great weekend, always is a good weekend when the Cowboys miss the playoffs. Well, at least they're statistically very unlikely to make it there, make it to the playoffs. But regardless, that's not going to happen. Folks, you knew going in, the media does this every year. It's a problem that the media has. They get a big win. Fortunately, it had to be over the Eagles. That was their Super Bowl. And they just decided to say, well, we're going to make this narrative that the Cowboys are this team. This is their year. Dak Prescott is legit because he has, 2 or 3 good games a season. And they just get embarrassed by Minnesota. So that happened. Very happy to hear that. Eagles got a nice win as well. We were talking about that on Floridians. Make sure you tune into that if you're a Philadelphia sports fan. Let's get into some of these basketball headlines today. Such like, Victor Wembanyama looks like he had a great performance last night, or this weekend rather, with the Cup games. Talk about that a little bit. Spurs are looking good. Spurs are looking like they're back to that team basketball that they had. A lot of people were saying that they were reminiscent of the 2014 team. They gave the Thunder their second loss of the season. Looks like Victor Wembanyama with 22 points, 9 rebounds in that game. Jaren Fox with 22. Devin Vassell, 23. And Stefan Castle with 22. Wow. So 4 players combining for almost, that's almost 90 points or so. Yeah, so the Spurs are back to that team basketball that they've always had, that culture, so this is really, that's pretty cool to see. Are they better than the Thunder? I don't think so, but I still think that they're young. They're still in that sort of predicament where they're right there to get there to the playoffs. They're going to get in most likely, but I don't think that they'll be able to get past an OKC or get past a Denver. Or yeah. Currently they're sitting at 5th in the Western Conference. Decently easy schedule coming up. They got a little East Coast road trip. Just looking at their schedule. They do play the Thunder 2 days before Christmas on the 23rd. That's at San Antonio. They actually play the Thunder back-to-back because on Christmas they have a game against the Thunder in OKC. But 2 days before, they have a game in San Antonio against OKC. So you're going to see a lot of OKC. And then January 13th, they play the Thunder. So yeah, it should be fun to watch. Look, you keep feeding the ball to Victor Wembanyama. This is sort of the problem that they had in Phoenix with DeAndre Ayton a couple years back, where they just weren't giving him the ball. And he was phenomenal. Got to get Wemby the ball. Got to kill him in the post. Although the West has a decent post game. You got Chet Holmgren, you got DeAndre Ayton, you got Wemby, of course, you got Jokic. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Let me know your thoughts about the Spurs. Looks like the Knicks had a pretty good Cup game as well. I thought it was interesting how the last time that the Knicks, that Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart all played in 2 Vegas together was Villanova. Which makes me feel very old. So, sort of a bittersweet moment there. But yeah, the Knicks, Jalen Brunson at 40. I remember seeing that. Just sort of looking at one of these headlines says vintage Jalen Brunson. I'm sorry, that doesn't really make a lot of sense given the fact that he's 29. That doesn't really make a lot of vintage Jalen Brunson. I think it's just Jalen Brunson in his prime. Well, that's a dumb headline, with all due respect. So, yeah, Knicks are going to play in the Cup Championship. Had a great game against the Magic. 40 points, 8 assists, which from Jalen Brunson. Jalen Suggs, getting 25 in that game. Yeah, great performance. So, looking at the Cup, tomorrow you got the Knicks and the Spurs. Should be a great game. Should be two young teams, bunch of young stars going at it. Be fun to see. That'll be a good little matchup. Looking forward to that. I still think the Knicks, I've said this before, I think the Knicks are maybe just one piece away from being a contender. Currently sit at second in the East, but I just think that they need another piece, like another forward. I think they're too small. I think they're too small. I don't think they have the height to compete against San Antonio. I don't think they have the height to compete against Denver, even if they do end up making the finals and getting past, let's say, Detroit or Boston. Right now, Detroit's my favorite to make the finals. I don't know if this is just a fluke, because if they're just having a hot regular season right now. It's still very early, folks. Like, we're not even at Christmas yet. And people are writing off teams. People are already locking in different things, different opinions. You still have a lot of basketball to play. So, I mean, I think the Knicks are a good let's go and take a little bit of a deep dive into the New York Knicks, because I'm curious. I'm actually curious to see where they rank in the NBA right now. I'm sure StatMuse has it, or Basketball Reference, whatever the case may be. It's amazing how many stats that we have now that can tell the story, sort of write a narrative for you. But let's have a look here. Do. Currently they're fourth in scoring with 121 points, averaging 121 points a game. Fourth in rebounding. 11th overall in shooting at 48%. Ninth overall assists. So, they're great. They're great on offense. They're great on offense. I just think their defense lacks a little bit. If you get into some of the defensive rankings in the NBA, see how they rank defensively. Again, I think the height. I think the height has something to do with that, to an extent. If we're looking, the Thunder are obviously number one with that. See where the Knicks rank. Knicks are fourth. Points allowed. They allow 110 points per 100 possessions. So we'll see. See if they can keep it up. Is this their year? Maybe. They're tied for sixth with the Sixers. They hold their opponents to 46%. So decent. Oklahoma City holds their opponents to 43%. Just amazing. See where they rank in 3-point defense. So they rank 16th. Teams on average will make about 15 threes a game against the Knicks. Shoot about 36%. Rebounds, they rank 15th. They'll allow 18 second chance points a game. That's a little rocky. But if they can stay consistent, if they can get that defense a little bit better, it's already been pretty well, but if they can stop teams from shooting, if they can get a little bit more height, I think, as well. With the deadline coming up, I don't know I haven't really been paying attention to who's going to be up for sale at the deadline. I don't think a big Giannis blockbuster is going to happen. I'm sorry. I just don't see that happening. But yeah, if I were the Knicks, I would make a move and I would go get some height. I would go get, sort of not that he's on the market, but a Kelly Oubre sort of player, a guy that can give you 20 points a game. Isn't an all-star necessarily, but at least you got somebody out there that's, 6'9", 6'10". See what we have with the Knicks. We look at maybe who they're eyeing, look at some rumors. Because I'm excited for the Knicks. I grew up watching Villanova. I think I've said this before as well, but I've always rooted for them. They've got two expiring contracts. They've got Mitchell Robinson's contract is expiring, and then Gershon Yabusele is on his player option. So they might make a move. I would go out and get somebody tall. But that's just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts about that. Let me know your thoughts. Let's get into some of the currently Pistons still sitting at first in the East. Got Knicks at second, Celtics third, fourth. Magic have been hooping. Magic have been playing really good basketball, great team basketball as well. I think when I was looking at a lot of these defensive stats, they were always in the top 10. Yeah, most of the time. Top 10 in scoring defense. Yeah, the Magic have been playing pretty well. Their defense actually needs to improve just a little bit, but their offense again is fantastic. But that's just sort of the NBA. In the NBA, the best defense is good offense. So, who am I? Why am I even talking about defense? Who cares? Who cares about defense? Me, I do. I care about defense. After that, you got the Raptors. You got the Heat. Heat have lost 4 in a row. Got the Sixers, who got absolutely screwed by the refs last night. If you watched that game, just look up Sixers screwed by the refs against Atlanta. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That was a backward violation on Alexander Walker. Cleveland's 8th. I'm not sure what's been going on with the Cavs. I did have them ranked pretty high this year, but they've just been sort of struggling. It is what it is. They're getting booed at home. They lost to the Hornets last night. It's not going well. Yeah. That's the Eastern Conference. In the West, and also you got like I said, you got the Knicks and Spurs for the Cup game tomorrow. That'll be at 8:30. Thunder still sitting at top of the West. You got Denver, Rockets, Lakers, Spurs, Timberwolves, Suns, Warriors, Grizzlies, Mavericks. Again, Golden State, another team I thought was going to be pretty good, but they just have been having some woes as far as just whatever is going on, to be honest. Yeah, so sort of panning out. I mean, obviously OKC's legit. We knew Denver was going to be good. We knew the Lakers were going to be up there. Knew Houston was going to probably be up there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out. Like I said, it's still very early within the within the season, so anything's still possible. I think you give teams until like February. At the end of February is when you really know. Okay, this is a contender. This team's going to make the playoffs. This team's not good. So I think that's sort of when you're sort of at the end of right towards the end of the All-Star break. Give it a week after the All-Star break, and that's sort of when you realize which teams are good and which teams aren't. That's when I think is the time to judge and the time to really start making predictions about who's going to win the championship, who's going to go this far, and so forth. So let me know your thoughts about that. We'll wrap it up with some college basketball, and then let's get out of here. I think okay, Arizona moved up to number 1. Michigan moved down. Michigan's been on a tear. Destroyed Villanova, destroyed Maryland. Maryland was in it for. I was watching that Maryland Michigan game. They were in it for a little bit, but it was clear to see that it was just a mismatch on the court. But Maryland was fighting in it. Really, what Maryland was, the way Maryland was sticking in it was they were just hitting a lot of threes. They were living by the three, which can happen. You can just be hitting all your shots, all your threes, and you'll be able to stick with a team like Michigan. Arizona's going to move into that number 1 spot because they beat number 12 ranked Alabama. Michigan just beat Villanova and Maryland. Both are unranked. Killed Villanova. That's a shame. Duke is going to stay at that 3 spots. Iowa State's going to stay at 4. UConn's going to stay at 5. They beat number 18th ranked Florida, 77-73. Purdue's going to stay 6. Houston's going to stay at 7. Gonzaga's going to stay at 8. Michigan State's going to stay at 9. BYU 10. Louisville 11. Vanderbilt, who moved up from 15. They beat Arkansas, who's ranked 17th. So, and Kansas moved up from 19th with a win over NC State. Yeah, so a little bit of changes. Michigan moving down 1. I think Michigan's probably the best team in the country still, as far as I think they're the number 1 team in the country. They're just destroying anybody in their path. So let me know your thoughts about that. That's going to wrap it up for me. We're back to the consistent schedule of on the court but first coffee. Everything's been so hectic with the holidays and whatnot. So I do apologize for that, but we're back tomorrow morning. See you. We'll talk hoops. We'll get into the Knicks and Spurs again. We'll get into some headlines. You can know all that good stuff. Make sure to tune into Floridians. We'll be covering the Eagles' win over the Raiders. So make sure to support the show, support the network on Patreon. All the links to that will be in the description. Thanks so much for watching. See you tomorrow.